Hello, my name's Jono. Welcome back to the channel. I like paddle sport of all kinds. I enjoy canoeing, kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, sea kayaking, and so on and so forth. It's part of my job, but from a personal point of view, I love it as well. And I'm a British canoeing coach. So when I was offered the chance of taking hold of a second-hand, rather dilapidated canoe, I jumped at it. It needs some TLC, but it was a bit of a project that I thought I'd really enjoy working on. And I thought I'd film it and show you guys too. So this is part one, whereby I actually take hold of the canoe and ascertain what needs doing to it. It needs some TLC definitely, as I explained in the video. I'm going to make more parts as I work through it because it's not finished yet. As I do that, I shall add links in the description below, so if you want to follow along, feel free to do so. So let's waste no more time. Let's jump in, take a look and see what we've got. So this is the boat. As you can see, it's in a bit of a poor state of repair. These float bags are, although functional, they're quite deteriorated under sunlight. It's filthy. Seats aren't too bad. We can probably leave those. Unfortunately, as you can see, the yoke is missing. So I'll need to replace that. Bolts are still there, but whether or not they'll do will need to be replaced as well. I'll have to try and find out. Painter rope is very sadly deteriorated. And again, just generally filthy, really. So the first thing to do is start taking it apart and giving it a good clean. The hull is pretty battered, as you'd expect, but I'm not too concerned with that. Apart from this here, we've got a split in the outer casing, and whilst it's still waterproof, this needs repairing because obviously it's going to take in water into the inner layers and it's going to delaminate slowly. So that's the first job, really. So as you can probably tell, this is back in the winter time. I was lucky enough that my workplace allowed me to actually work on the boat undercover because it was very much needed. So I started by cutting off the existing painter rope. As I say, unfortunately it was becoming old and tatty, quite slimy in places as well. Took a little bit of getting out. The rope is actually swollen inside the hull, so I had to delace the float bag slightly in order to get at the rope and cut it out. But yeah, it proved quite a job, really. So next is removing the old float bags. For those of you who don't know, these are devices that sit at the either end of the canoe that basically prevent the canoe from sinking even if it's fully swamped with water as a safety precaution. So they're laced in, and I just started by cutting and removing all the lacing and then obviously removing the bags altogether. This was easier said than done because I tried to remove the float bag without actually taking the seats out first, and this proved quite tricky. So I gave up in the end and actually removed the seat so that I could remove the float bag a lot easier. So once both painter ropes have been removed and both float bags are out, I begin to power wash. This was a very satisfying experience, I have to say. Quite cathartic using a power washer, but yeah, doesn't going to get rid of all the grime, but it certainly makes it a lot better than it was before. Now the power washing will have obviously got moisture into this crack here, so the final thing to do now is to store the boat the correct way up to allow it to drain out and dry out before we do the next step. So there you go, hope you enjoyed that. More parts to come, and as I say, I'll update the descriptions below with the links as I create them. Next job is obviously to get that split in the hull sealed up. I bought some new float bags, I bought a yoke, etc. And I'm going to talk about skid plates, etc. Hopefully something that you'll enjoy watching. So until then, thank you very much indeed for all your support, really do appreciate it. More videos coming, obviously. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about vintage cameras. I've got loads of those in the works as well. But yeah, until then, thanks again, and I'll see you soon. Take care.